NFL Blitz, I think, is our next one. Was nominated by @MeatDimensionTJ on Twitter. That's one of my favorite handles so far. MeatDimensionTJ. Like Meat Dimension, what I like about this is I kind of imagine that Meat Dimension must have been taken. So he's like, all right, I guess Meat Dimension TJ. I don't know.
I think it's a Persona reference, but don't quote me on that.
I wouldn't know.
Meat Dimension.
Meat Dimension just sounds like the world of like Inside Out people or something. I don't know.
Super Meat Dimension? Boy.
Super Meat Dimension.
Oh, that'd be excellent.
Okay, so instead of the arcade one, which was unemulatable at this point, I believe.
Actually, no, you can.
No, what? Well,
you might need a better computer than usual, but you can.
No, I could not get it to work I couldn't even find anybody who got it to work. So
doesn't it run on a disk system? You probably need like a disk image, which is a real pain.
Yeah, CHD.
Yeah, it can be a pain in the ass to organize sometimes. Although I did it for Killer Instinct.
I ran it like as far as I know, I think the only two ports of NFL Blitz that are of the first version are for PlayStation and N64. And since it relies heavily, like, a lot of these games did, on voice samples for the commentators, I just went with the PlayStation version.
I actually physically own the PlayStation version. I got it from the first store all back.
I totally physically own it. I'm not talking about a ROM here, or a ROM image. Yeah.
Cough.
Definitely not. Did not play this on a PSP with an e-boot. Did not.
So how about them Cowboys?
Yeah, how about them? I mean, okay, so Bob and Ader, like, you can tell me, like, that's basically the same as the arcade version, right?
Pretty much. I can't think of any major cuts. Maybe less sound clips.
It has the same mechanics as far as I can tell. But, like, people have put up videos on YouTube of their actual, NFL Blitz cabinets, and it seems like it's basically the same. I mean, I guess if I have to, we can rank the PlayStation version. Is that a good compromise then? I don't want to say anything untrue about the arcade version, but I don't know. What do you think?
I'd say they'd probably be about equal. It's a decent port there, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fun game. So, I mean, so basically, NFL Blitz, at least before the testicle exploding days, was like an NBA Jam of American football. And if you don't know anything about American football, I refer you to the Madden NFL 95, I think, or Madden 95 episode of Game Club 1990X.
That was a good episode.
It was a good episode, wasn't it?
It was better than it had any right to be. I mean,
no, it was good because we cared about what we were talking about. So if you're not from the United States or Canada, you will not know anything about football and not care anything about American football. You'll care about football, which is completely different. But
association football proper.
I think we made a pretty compelling case in that episode that American football is like a really great sport for video games because it's all broken down into individual plays and there's a lot of depth and strategy to it. But there's also a lot of like dudes smacking into each other and like, people getting concussions and stuff like that. So
Can I go on a bit and just why I feel Blitz so much?
Please.
Okay, I'll be honest, I'm not really a sports person. I had to have basically someone teach me everything about football back when we did Madden. But I just have so much fun with NFL Blitz. It's like quite possibly my favorite sports games. They just cut out everything I don't care about, and it's just really fast and entering to play and watch.
It's kind of interesting because they didn't really cut that much of American football's rules out of it. Like, it seems like it's pretty much mostly there. Like, the one main difference is that I noticed, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, because maybe I just I haven't played the game long enough. I played it a lot when it was new, because it was like, it's like, oh, this is like NBA Jam, but for football, but which I loved NBA Jam. So I loved NFL Blitz. And playing it again now, it seems like the main thing that I noticed that they streamlined was like they took out the extra point. If you elect to do the extra point after a touchdown, you can.
It just gives it to you. It
just gives it to you.
Up.
Right. But if you want to go for the 2-point conversion, you actually can run a play. And then other than that, I guess like the gameplay just works a little bit faster, but it feels like the field's a little bit smaller than it should be. But I mean, that's about it.
Also, I really like all the extra animations they put in. Like, you've got people like stomping on each other, doing German suplexes on each other. I love that.
It's really funny, how like after somebody gets tackled, like you can have a few dudes just like pile onto him. I think they like do like some kind of like weird butt dives or something.
And if someone gets a touch, and you can tackle them after that too.
It's great, just for like a little bit of revenge. Yeah, just like screw you, buddy. I mean, it does score a little bit more frequently than real football. You know, it's a little bit more like basketball in that, like, I'd say the norm is to get at least a few points on each possession, but so it makes it a little bit easier. It's more like minor tweaks. It's kind of weird. My main problem with this game is that the original version of NFL Blitz did not have hot button passing. So, you know, for those of you who aren't familiar, like, again, please listen to our Madden 95 episode if you're really curious about it. But, you know, each play starts out with a quarterback, and he can hand the ball off to somebody who's going to run with it, like rugby style, or the quarterback can throw the ball to one of the receivers who will catch it. And that, you know, gets you closer to your goal in less time, but is also riskier because it's hard to catch footballs when somebody's trying to slam you to the ground, and also because the other team can just catch it, which happens a lot in NFL Blitz. But with hot button passing, which is how almost every football game works on video game form, is that like each receiver has their own button on your control pad. And so when it's time to run a passing play, there are little buttons that will, you know, little button icons will appear above those players' heads. And so you like press X to pass to that guy, press A to pass to that guy. And that way if the play, you know, calls for, you know, if you were intended to pass to your wide receiver, but he's being swarmed by defenders, then you can make a last minute decision and last second decision to pass to like your halfback or something like that. And this game doesn't have that. So you actually have to use the same button that the same control stick that you use to move your quarterback around and avoid defenders. You have to use that to select your pass receiver.
I would say that the way Madden handled was a little bit smoother. Yeah, you kind of had a little bit more control of what you were doing.
So I feel like it's really kind of I don't understand why they couldn't do that, because it was originally an arcade game. So why not just have like 4 face buttons and do, you know, different colors? And like, why not have like Tecmo Bowl, you know, could handle this, you know, like Madden was out for years before this game came out. So I don't understand what the deal is. Like, why did they have to do it that way? It's weird. And it makes the game kind of frustrating because, again, you're selecting pass receivers with the same control input you're using to move your quarterback around. It's kind of strange. And later games did switch to hot button passing. So I don't know. I mean, I like the concept of NFL Blitz a lot. I do not like the original NFL Blitz that much because I feel like it's too it's too clumsy the way the passing works. And you do a lot of passing in the game. You know, it's a lot more than you would in a real football game. So that's frustrating to me. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
well, I wish I had more to say about Blitz itself, but I've been kind of down on American football lately, so
and I can't really. So it's literally at the mercy of whatever tier you guys think this game gently squeezes between.
Rating sports games is, I think, going to be rather tough because, like, how much do you judge that off of your own personal thought on the real sport off of which it's modeled? Like,
well, I mean, no, you're just think of it as a video game. Like, think of it as is it fun as a video game or not? Like, because especially NFL Blitz is like, on the surface level, it looks like a regular game of American football, but it's really not like it at all. Like the odds of having a successful pass are just much higher. The odds of having an intercepted pass are much higher. It really does play more like basketball.
Yeah, it's more like an action game than a strategy one.
It is, and it's still fun. Like I don't, if NBA Jam were on the list, I would put it below NBA Jam, but NBA Jam's not on the list, and I don't know where I'd put that one. So
that's a good point.
I mean, I'm gonna say like I would play NFL Blitz before I would play Technocop. I would play it. I'd rather play it than Uniracers or Marvel Land. I'm thinking the DKC3 range in there.
Okay, I might place it.
Fair enough.
I might place it between DKC3 and Marvel Land. Then it's a fine game by all accounts, but I sort of cling religiously to Tecmo Super Bowl as the end-all be-all of American football titles, and Blitz isn't quite as meaty, but I'm not sure if I can really compare what was originally an arcade game for a full-bred console game that has...
It's amazing how, I want to give it credit mostly for how much regular football rules it puts into an arcade game. Which is impressive.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like I said, it does feel more like an action game. But that being said, it offers all these pass names. I have no idea what the hell they mean. Like, what's a dog hook? DAWG hook? Can you explain what the hell that is?
It's just the name of a passing play. It's just
okay.
Like a hook would be any play, I think, where the receivers go out and then run back in kind of a way of tricking defenders.
Well, I've probably offended a good chunk of our fan base by admitting that I'm not the most keen on American football right now. So let me just say this. I can understand why the sport is as famous as it is, and it is also a great basis for a large amount of video games of varying quality. And this is definitely one of the better ones. But yeah, I guess just because it's not Tecmo Super Bowl and I'm simple that I'd place it where you said around Donkey Kong Country 3. I'd put it just below that.
I'd put it below Donkey Kong Country 3 too. Oh. I would also I would even, I don't know, I'm even kind of feeling like just because of the passing thing is so frustrating and so dumb. Like it's not like they hadn't solved this problem in other games. They thought this was a good idea and it's not.
That is an odd control quirk. I mean, with the PlayStation controller having as many buttons as it did, you think they could have found some way to put that in. No, they could have just done it like every other American football video game does it, which is have hot button passing. There's no reason not to. It's not like you don't understand what the buttons mean. I just found it weird. I found it weird to have that in the arcade version. I find it even weirder to have it in a home console port. I don't know. I'm saying I'm going to put it above Technocop, below Uniracers, just because of that. Oh, really?
Yeah, I changed my mind because that's inexcusable. Like,
okay, how about this? Fair compromise between Marvel Land and Uniracers.
Okay, who disagrees with that?
I could work that.
All right.
I haven't played the game, so it's at your guys' mercy.
No. What you're going to say is, I agree with that. I know everything there is to know about this game, and my opinion is sacrosanct. And once it's in this list, it is in there for good. Word. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that does seem like if I had to think about it, that seems like a reasonable range there. Because
but you should play NFL Blitz though. Like,
I should.
It's fun, but it's one of those. It's like NBA Jam. It's really only fun when you're playing with somebody else.
Right.